Before you try to change your life, before you try to change your mind, before you try to change your future, you have to accept something unsettling. Reality is not personal. It does not revolve around preference. It follows structure, and that structure is consistent. The emerald tablet places one sentence at the center of its system. As above, so below. But the tablet does not stop there. It continues. What is below is like that which is above, and what is above is like that which is below, to accomplish the miracles of the one thing. The one thing. Not many forces, not competing principles. One underlying reality expressing itself at different levels. As above, so below. Most people hear that sentence symbolically, a spiritual quote, a beautiful idea. But Hermeticism presents it structurally, not as comfort, as law. The same order repeats across levels, not the same objects, the same pattern. A leaf is not a lung, a river is not a bloodstream, but the logic that shapes them, the geometry of branching, the economy of flow, the way systems balance, appears again and again. This is not mysticism. It is structural coherence. It is the fingerprint of unity. In the last episode, we established the foundation. There is one source, one underlying reality, one thing expressing itself as many forms. Hermetic thought calls this emanation. Creation is not a construction event. It is unfolding. Principle becomes polarity. Polarity becomes vibration. Vibration becomes form. And at every level, the same intelligence remains present, expressed, not divided. If there is one source, it must express itself consistently. The same intelligence that orders the cosmos must also order nature. And you. Not because you are special, because you are included. This law is the bridge between unity as truth and unity as a usable system. Without correspondence, unity remains philosophical. With correspondence, unity becomes functional. What governs the large governs the small. What shapes the invisible shapes the visible, not in detail, in structure. If you want to understand a system, you do not stare at the surface. You look for its repeating pattern. Reality is built from patterns that echo, and if you can read the echo, you can read yourself. Hermeticism does not ask you to believe. It asks you to observe. Look at spiral galaxies, hurricanes, shells, seeds, storm systems, different objects, same geometry. Look at lightning, tree roots, river deltas, neural networks, different materials, same organizing logic. The universe does not invent endlessly new solutions. It refines patterns that work. That repetition is correspondence. Above does not mean heaven. It means principle, invisible rules, hidden architecture. Below means expression, visible form, manifested structure. The unseen order expresses itself in the seen, and the seen reveals the unseen. If this law governs stars and storms, it does not stop at your skin. The same architecture continues inward. If you want to know the law, study the form. If you want to change the form, adjust the law. Your repeated conflicts are not isolated personalities colliding. Your repeated disappointments are not random misfortune. Your repeated fears are not separate problems. They are structural echoes. Hermeticism trains perception, not belief, perception. Where does the same emotional geometry repeat? Where does the same reaction pattern reappear? Where does the same outcome form under different names? When you see only events, you remain reactive. When you see pattern, you gain leverage, because what is structured can be studied, and what is studied can be adjusted. If correspondence is real, then your life is not a collection of accidents. It is an arrangement. And structures do not argue. They operate. You can resent a person. You can blame circumstance. But if the pattern keeps returning, it is not the event that is repeating. It is the structure. This is where the law becomes uncomfortable. Because once you recognize repetition, you lose the comfort of randomness. You begin to notice the same trigger, the same defense, the same decision, the same result. Different context, same geometry. The law does not accuse you. It does not judge you. It remains consistent, and consistency reveals design. So the question shifts, not, why does this keep happening? But what architecture inside me keeps producing this? If it is structured, it can be understood. If it can be understood, it can be changed. Not by wish, by alignment. Repetition is not punishment. It is information, and information is usable. Next time something repeats, pause. Do not react immediately. Observe the structure. Where have you seen this before? What emotion activates first? What decision follows? What outcome completes the loop? Write down the pattern, not the story, the pattern. If you can see it clearly, you are no longer inside it unconsciously. You are studying it, and what is studied can be adjusted. Start small. Choose one repeating cycle. Trace it backward, not to who hurt you, but to the structure that activates first. That is where change begins. The law does not change. It does not need to, but your awareness can, and awareness is leverage. If this clarified something, stay with it. What comes next is not theory, it is application. Identifying structural patterns, diagnosing repetition with precision, interrupting cycles without emotional reaction, and changing causes, not symptoms. If this deserves to travel further, leave a like. Subscribe for structure. The work begins.